meeting of the Fortuna City Council. If you'll silence your electronic devices, we'll call this meeting to order, and please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And can we get a roll call?
Councilmember Conley?
Present.
Councilmember Diaz?
Here.
Councilmember Stevens? Here. Mayor Johnson?
Here. And our first item tonight is oral comments from the public. Anyone wishing to make comment on any item that is not on the agenda can take that opportunity now to make public comment. And I see none. So thank you. We'll close public comment, and we come to the consent calendar where we have 4 items. The city council minutes from December 15th, a report of disbursements, review and approve mayor's recommendations for appointees to Measure E Committee, Planning Commission, and FBID, and a authorized city manager to execute a professional services agreement. Does anyone wish to make comment on the consent calendar?
I would, Mayor. Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council. Item D, I just want to speak in favor of that. As you know, I got up previously when this item was brought up and mentioned how much that I thought it was beneficial for us as staff, us as community members, giving us a voice. You know, we felt heard. I know that at this time, it is money, it's funding. Fortunately, it's stuff that is earmarked in advance for this project, but I see this as beneficial well beyond the scope of this project itself. I see any interaction with the community there where we can hear what their voice is, we can interact with them, where we can all come together for a common direction. I think that's needed. I think some clear decision-making would be extremely beneficial, and I think that this process would be very good, and I would just like to say that I support this, and I would hope that you would vote to accept it.
Well, thank you.
Mayor, can I ask, are you doing public comment now on the consent, or?
Yes.
You are not. Thank you. Honorable Mayor and council members, Happy New Year and all those things. Hope you had a great holiday. I also would like to comment on item D, your strategic plan. First of all, it's so great that you guys are doing that for your county, or for your city and for your staff. Those long-term strategic plans are really what helps drive your staff to really do what you want them to and to really shape your town. I think whether you spend money on a consultant or whether you spend money having your staff do it, which then takes away from other things, it's so important. You're gonna spend the money anyways, and it's so important that you have you know what you're doing with your strategic plan and how to get there. And so I worked with Jen in the past. She's a great lady and a great visionary, and really will take your ideas and your town's ideas and really run with them, and your staff's ideas. I applaud the council and your city council and your city manager at really setting this up and moving forward with it. And I would encourage you all to really just embrace this process. Thank you.
Thank you. Any council comments?
I've got a quick comment. I think I'm in agreement with all the comments we've got, that, you know, it's definitely going to be important for the city. I think, you know, I am, you know, mindful of our budget, so I think in an ideal world, I'd like to imagine that we could do it ourselves and answer what do we need, you know, what does the city need from this, or the residents of the city need from us. But with that being said, you know, with the constraints and manpower and everything, I guess it makes sense to have an outside consultant help.
It's good to have someone who can also help interact with the public and get the public's vision of we'd like to hear from them about how they want the city shaped and how the general plan will be updated, so. If there's no more comments from the council, we'll entertain a motion to accept the consent calendar.
Make a motion to accept the consent calendar.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. So thank you, and thank you all for your public comments. We have no city council business tonight, but we do have the city manager's report with some important stuff on it. So thank you.
Yes, I'm excited to share that we have a draft ordinance for rent stabilization regulations for mobile home parks. That ordinance has been shared, that draft ordinance has been shared with stakeholders. That means mobile home owners and the park owners themselves. And the draft ordinance is on the city's website. And we are accepting comments on the draft ordinance until January 30th, and then we'll review those comments and then bring back the draft ordinance for your council's consideration sometime after January 30th. So that's exciting because that's been a lot of work, and so I'm happy that we finally have a draft. We also had a site visit from Cal Recycle on December 17th, and we were able to sit down and review a number of the SB 1383 regulations that Cal Recycle is interested in seeing us implement. So the city has to create a process for issuing de minimis waivers or exemptions for commercial organics generators. We have to create a hauler approval process because there are other haulers other than Recology. We'll enter into a franchise agreement with Recology, but any other hauler will have to go through a city-initiated process. And then we also have to start tracking every procured recycled paper product that we purchase. And so we will have to keep extensive records and report this to Cal Recycle. Starting 2026 with some good news, Housing and Community Development have completed their review of the city's progress on implementing the housing element. As you may recall, we did receive a letter from HCD expressing concern that we hadn't implemented a number of items. And we did bring those items to your city council in December, and we informed HCD of that, and they are happy with our progress. They did let us know that they will continue to monitor the city's implementation through the annual progress report, but currently we are in compliance, and so that is a wonderful way to start off 2026. And then just as a reminder, the city council meeting scheduled for Monday, January 19th has been moved to Tuesday, January 20th. And that concludes the city manager's report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, I think we have a public comment.
We do. Salo, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. My name is Salo, and I'm with WMA. We work with mobile home park owners and managers in California. We offer training, education, advocacy, etc. Just here today to encourage you guys to take a step back from this effort, to work instead with your housing providers in Fortuna. They've continuously communicated their willingness to negotiate a deal that would benefit all the parties involved. The owners and managers of these communities in Fortuna are kind of stunned by how completely one-sided this whole process has been. Other than one council member who agreed to meet with us, our outreach to both city staff as well as the council has gone completely ignored. Not giving your local housing providers an opportunity to share their feedback during this process is just not good policy making. So as the owners of Royal Crest have continuously communicated to you, the historical sale data of units in the city shows that despite being depreciating assets, they continuously are sold for profit. That happens because these mobile home communities are properly maintained and are wonderful places to live. The ordinance on the table today threatens that. So the owners of Royal Crest have also made clear they also offer rental assistance to those in need. The MHET rental assistance program that is offered by them is offered fully voluntary, and it's operated in hundreds of communities throughout California. It's been in place for over 30 years. This program has helped thousands of California families. So I strongly urge you to move forward with to not move forward with a rent control ordinance. Instead, just organize a sit down between the residents, the park owners, the city, so that all issues, not just rent, can be discussed in an open forum, and we can come up with some solutions and negotiate them. An MOU, as was suggested at the beginning of the process, is just an infinitely better option for everybody than a rent control ordinance. It accomplishes pretty much all the goals of an ordinance without any of the downsides. So again, I just encourage you to take a step back, communicate with your housing providers, and work on a compromise. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you. Okay, is there any council comment on the city manager's report?
I had just a quick question regarding the Cal Recycle requirements for the paper procurement. Has anyone come up with like a very rough estimate of like how many additional personnel hours that would add to the cities? I'm just wondering.
No, but I am estimating that it could potentially be a full FTE, so another full-time position, or 34 to 40 hours a week, because there is quite a bit of data management that's going to need to occur. We also have to keep track of organics, recycling, and we have, there's education that has to take place with all of the commercial folks that will produce organics, recycling. And while Recology will do some of that for us, the city is still going to have some responsibility. And it feels like a monumental task in a very small organization.
Is there any public comment on the city manager's report? Well, I believe we've come to the end of that. Thank you for your work on this. I know that sometimes it's a thankless task, and having been the reporting authority for Cal Recycle in the past, I know how much time it can take. So we come to future agenda items. Is there any future agenda items? No, none. Well, then we'll kick off with Councilmember Conwell.
Thank you. We were finally able to wrangle everybody together to get a meeting for Parks and Rec. We discussed a possible donation of looking into a second stage in the park. We'll kind of face the other direction and then kind of open it up to the lawn area to have a stage out there instead of just the one that's by the food area. And then also got to hear how fully staffed they were, which the director was very excited about.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Diaz.
Hi, Happy New Year. I have nothing to report. We didn't have a meeting for December, so we're looking forward to this month's meeting.
Okay, Councilmember Stevens.
Nothing to report from my end. No meetings since the last council met.
Okay, well, had a couple things. We had our HCOG meeting, and we had both the small portion with the regional transportation plan and a large portion with the RENA methodology for allocation, which is still in flux. I believe it's a draft portion of that is on the HCOG website and has been circulated for public comment. And that will probably be our item for the month of January. It's just one thing after another with state regs, and we're looking forward to getting this one done. We have a upcoming historical commission meeting, and I'm looking forward to that because it's always nice to go to the museum and check that out. And I would encourage any of our citizens to get down there and look at it. It's a really nice thing, well taken care of, and we have a great curator in there, so take advantage of it. I also wanted to bring up that these last 2 weeks with the holidays and the storms and the turmoil that came with all of the flooding and wind events and the shortened compressed weeks. Our staff really put their nose to the grindstone and kept up with everything, which is amazing, and there's a lot of important things that happen inside City Hall that a lot of people never hear about. But to get payroll out on time, to get the payables done, to keep us from falling in arrears and things such as that, I have to commend the City Hall personnel for that, and the water Public Works, well, the Public Works crews and the Parks crews for what they did, keeping the roads open, keeping the parks open, taking care of windfalls and plugged drains and leaky roofs in the parks and River Lodge, and there's a myriad of things that happen, and it was all kept up with, so I just want to commend them for all of that. And that's pretty much my report. I do have a Cal Cities meeting coming up, but that's not until March, I believe, for the Transportation, Communication, and Public Works Commission. So if there's no other things here, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.